Hello, this is Talon with Old Guy Stuff at Busy Corner Lane, and I've got 3 speedi-stitchers here. Okay, 2 of them I made and 1 of them I bought. I'll tell you about this real quick and what they do. Okay, this one came in this box, and it does say Made in America, and I've had this for many years now. Got this online on Amazon. It was $7. I'm very happy with this. This could have been $15, $20, and I still would have been very happy with this. Has been very, very useful tool for me. Okay, and I see them at some local big box stores for $25 and more, and honestly, you can get them, $7 still off of Amazon. So anyway, you might not have that money to spend, and you might have all the stuff you need to make your own speedi-stitcher. Okay, I made extra ones, and I store them like this, right? And I can just take that bubble tea straw thing off, and it's only on there so I don't stick myself if I reach into whatever bag or box that I keep these in. Okay, I think they're so useful that I keep one in my EDC. Okay, this carries on my belt. I made this pouch for my Altoids using a speedi-stitcher. It's one piece of leather other than the belt loop part. Everything else is just one piece folded in speedi-stitcher, and this 20 minutes and this is made, and it looks good. It's been holding up for many years. Okay, but I keep one in here right down in this part. It's in the bubble tea straw, and I've got about 5 to 6 feet of waxed leather sewing thread wrapped around the glue stick part, and that has saved me many times. I've had kids where I work. I was a school teacher before I retired, and they would come in with messed up shoes or backpacks or whatever, and we'd sew them up for them, make it just as good as new, at least for the strength of the sewing. My wife's shoe came apart at a mall, and so just say, sit down. She sat on the bench, and I took her shoe off, and I sewed it up for her real quick. So I kept one of these at school, and it fits in my screwdriver really, really good, okay? And it doesn't come out on its own. Now, what I like about this screwdriver is it can be a T-handle. So if I take this off, I actually can put the speedi-stitcher part here, okay? I've never needed to do that, but I could, all right? So I'm thinking, was this really the easiest way to do this? And I did a little experiment earlier just to kind of check, and I made one with a wooden handle. Now, I have seen people's online videos where they'll go out and hand carve some beautiful speedi-stitchers. And what I'm looking for is not that this is beautiful, but that it's really quick and easy to make. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how I did this one, and then why I prefer the ones that are made out of the glue stick so much more. Okay, so I've got this 3/8 inch dowel. It's the biggest dowel I've got. Okay, and I actually have a holder for the dowel that I can put into my drill press and put that nice vertical drill hole in here. Okay, 16th inch drill bit. Actually, I think it's an 1/8 inch, and then I can push it down in, and it stays pretty good. Okay, not everybody has that stuff. Okay, and we're looking for keeping it easy. Was this easy to do? Yeah, but not everybody. God, almost everybody's got glue sticks. Okay, so I have these glue sticks that are, it says 0.44 inches, which is not very helpful. So I measured it with my caliper, and that is 7/16 of an inch diameter. Okay, that's what goes in a lot of the glue guns. So, close it up. So we need to get the glue stick and cut it to whatever length you want. So I am using it in here. I put the glue stick in here. I don't have an extra glue stick now, unfortunately, but I put the glue stick in here so I know how far out I want it to go. If I'm not using a glue stick, if I'm not putting it in a handle, then I might want it to be about this long, just so I can grip it well. Okay, so keep that in mind. And what I found works really good on cutting it is the serrated edge part on this combo blade with the Leatherman Skeletal. Now, I've got a lot of serrated blades that cut pretty well on this. And I've got some serrated blades or plain blades that don't cut through this stuff very good at all, even though they're razor sharp. But I found this one cuts really well on a glue stick. So I just kind of set it on there and I score it. So I know how long I want it to be. And then I pull this out and I set this on a piece of wood so I'm not messing up my countertop. And it's just kind of rock it back and forth with a little bit of downward pressure and it goes in good. Okay, so I'm not cutting another glue stick because I don't have another glue stick right now. But how did I make this thin? Because this one I had to do some drilling and stuff, and I'm going to use this needle as a matter of fact. But I need to get this needle into that glue stick. Now you could think, well, I can just heat up the glue stick and I'm good to go. But there's actually an easier way. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to take the pliers. Any pliers are really going to do this. I just want something that's easy to hold on to. And you're going to hold the needle with the pliers because we're going to heat up the needle. And if you hold the needle with your hand, well, it's probably going to burn your hand. Now I've got the glue stick. So once I heat up the needle, I'm going to push it into the glue stick. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight up and down, but it's nice if it is. Okay. And then to help it cool down fast, I just got a little cup of water here. So my whole process goes like this. It's pretty quick and easy. So open that up. And before I heat it up, I'm going to tell you, it's actually heats pretty quick. You do not want this to glow. Okay, if you get it to glowing, it's going to liquefy the inside of the glue stick and it's just going to become a mess and take a lot longer to cool down. You don't even do that. So I'm just going to go like 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay, now I can take this and I can push it in. Uh-oh. That is hot. Go. I got it pushed in, not perfectly straight, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, now I'm just going to dip this into the water, the needle part. The coolness in the water, okay, we'll just transfer it to the metal in the needle, and that'll transfer up into the glue stick. That part will cool down quicker. Okay, I've done it most of the time without water, but I found the water actually helps. Then I just take this paper towel I got my coffee cup on, and I just wipe it off. That's it. That's the whole process that I do. Okay. Now all I got to do after this is I just put in whatever. I'm going to use this handle. This is almost long enough to go without a handle, but I cut this kind of short because I want it to go into a handle. Okay. So now all I got to do is just thread it and I can use it. So I'm going to set that up for you. Okay. So the first thing I need to do with this is I'm going to thread it. And like I said, with the other Speedy Stitcher that is store-bought, I don't really use the spool on it. I just use this, and I put a Ranger band around it so it doesn't come undone a lot at a time. And I'm just going to put it in my pocket. I don't know if you can see it. Put it in my pocket so it doesn't roll around the tabletop or anything. And now there's two sides to the needle, though. Why am I looking at that? I don't know. Two sides to the needle. It's the side that's got this little groove in it, right in here. And then there's this other side that doesn't have a groove. So what I do is I feed through the side that's got the groove. Like that. Then I'm just going to give myself a good amount of length. Stretch it out in my pocket a little bit. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sewing this belt. I am not going to do the whole belt thing. Because seriously, I've got to sew about 15 inches on the top part and on the bottom part down below it. Okay. We spent about $10 on this belt about 5 years ago. And I think if I'm spending $10, this belt needs to last me 10 years at least. So I've got this about as long as I'm going to need it here. And what happens is you push through one side. So I'm just going to hold the thread down on the glue stick part just for tension. And I pre-marked the side that is facing me with holes so I know exactly where it's going to go. And this pushes through the material pretty easily. And then when I back it up, I get this loop right here. So what I want to do at the beginning is pull this loop out. It takes a little bit at first to get it, but I'll pull the loop out because this is going to be the back of the stitch. Speedi-stitcher works like a sewing machine. Okay, the sewing machine, if this is the needle, the sewing machine, the needle goes down, a little loop gets made, and the machine feeds this thing through a loop, and then the needle pulls back up, and it keeps doing it, keeps doing it, keeps doing it. Okay, so the speedi-stitcher works like that too, only we're going sideways. So I've got this part. Let me see if I can adjust a little bit so you can see more from the angle. Okay, so hopefully this is going to show up better now. Okay, so the first time I put it in, I pulled back a little bit and it made this loop. Okay, and then what happens after that is I go through, I've pulled this out now, it's on the other side, but I've got this long length that's through the belt, okay? And this is how I sew a lot of my stuff if I'm not going to do saddle stitching, which is a totally different technique. Okay, and then I go to the next place I know to put my needle, and I put it in, and then when I go to back it up, it gives me that loop again, okay? So now I'm going to take this long string, I'm going to shove it through the loop, either top or bottom, it doesn't really matter, and then I'm going to pull back. Now when I do, I've got a good stitch that's made in the belt, okay? And then I just go down to the next one, find out where that's going to go, push it through, pull back, okay? And then this time I'm going to go from the bottom, put the thread through it, like that. I've got literally about 100 stitches to do, so I'm not going to do the whole thing for you. But I have been restitching different parts of this belt for 5 years. And finally, once I do this part, it's going to be the entire belt is done. I've never had to redo any of the work I've done. I do pretty solid work with leather, so I haven't had to redo anything that I've done. But from time to time, I have to do a different section. So once I get this section done, it's going to be the entire belt has been resewn. But that's going to let this belt probably last even 10 more years. So that's my whole deal right here is saving money, doing a little bit of extra work. I did not have to buy a speedi-stitcher. We did have sewing machine needles sitting around. We don't have a sewing machine, but there's a dollar store I like to go to that's Japanese called Daiso, and you can actually get a pack with a lot of these needles in it for about $1.50. So, you know, this $1.50 is going to last me about 5 years of stitching, and I'm going to be able to save belts and shoes and backpacks and stuff like that. So, that's my whole setup right here. Yeah, back that up a little bit. I'm Talon. This is old guy stuff at Busy Corner Lane. I just made a homemade speedi-stitcher that I'm using right now for fixing a belt. And to give you an idea on how the finished product looks, okay, this was one of the first sections I've ever done on this belt. And so what I'm doing now is the section is going to go all the way from the other end all the way up around here, because we can see how the belt is coming apart. So that's unacceptable for me. And it's going to come all the way over here and connect to this part. So I'll have the whole belt restitched. Takes some extra work, but you know, I don't mind spending an hour doing this if it's going to save me $10. So have a safe, happy, peaceful, wonderful day. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're so inspired to do so. And take care. Bye-bye.